don't know what's going on, but
Oh, we did it.
wow.
I don't understand. I mean, that's, it's challenging that they've changed, I think, so many things on the actual computer than you do on your phone. It's so anyways, we're
And I,
here.
I was
uh,
like, okay, I'm gonna go sleep. Maybe you didn't want to talk to me. I don't know.
that's not true. We were like missing you so much. I told Elaine, I was like, oh my God, this was going to be like an amazing podcast, which it still was with Elaine. And we talked a little bit about the different perspective. But thank you again.
You're welcome.
You were on my podcast before, so this is the
Yes.
second podcast with
I,
you.
I sat at my desk because I'm comfortable at my first. Earlier we were talking. I was at my dining room area, but I said, let me go sit at the desk so I'm comfortable in my big chair and stuff. And
Oh, good.
then
Yeah,
I
I'm
got
sitting
here,
on my couch.
I got here, couldn't get in. I said, well, I might as well just look at the bills that are due. So I was
No,
waiting to try to get the signal from you, and I was looking at bills and stuff, and like, okay, it's that time of the month that get all the bills
I
in
like
line.
what you got. What you got?
Oh,
You
my
got
shirt?
New York City. Your shirt.
Oh, it says New York City. I got this when I was in New York. Every time I go to New York, I always buy a T-shirt that says something about New York.
Oh,
This one,
nice.
it also it's at the bottom. It spells out all the different boroughs, like
Oh,
Brooklyn,
wow, nice.
Staten Island, Queens, Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn. So it gives all the. I think it's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 5 bureaus. I'm not sure. I
Awesome.
can't remember. Yeah,
Cool.
and I
Well,
visited
good to
all
have
of them.
you again. I'm so glad that we were able to make it this evening so we didn't have to reschedule. So for the audience, this is the second time Richard has been on my podcast. The first time we talked about Father's Day and his faith and his challenges, that he faced with his dad, but, he was able to be raised by such a great mom as a single mom and be encouraged. So that was one absolutely great podcast. If you guys want to look back, get on my stories in Facebook, and all of this stuff is on YouTube as well. So this evening, we want to talk about different perspectives and why people are single. So Richard wanted to share his story. I know some of you already we talked a little bit about Elaine and her challenges of her divorce and her perspective as to why she's still single.
I
So we
really,
want to ask the same questions.
I
What were
really
you
wish,
saying?
I really wish we can get her back on because I really wanted to hear what she had to say. I wanted to hear
Yeah,
the contrast. I know she's probably busy.
I wish too, but she has her baby, Logan. So she had her dog, and the dog was getting mad because she needed it. Yeah.
Understandable, understandable.
Yeah. Yeah. So you tell me, Richard. So from your perspective, why are you still single?
Wow, that's the question that is asked to me, if not 5 times a week, 5 to 10 times a week. And a lot of times the questions come from women. Richard, why aren't you married? Why don't you have a girlfriend? Why aren't you hitched up with somebody? You seem to be a very nice guy. You seem to be
Right.
doing that, And then sometimes I don't even have the real answer, because the answer that I always give is that I guess because I've not been actively looking. I'm waiting on fate for it to happen. And I just don't, I guess I don't put myself out there as a person that's looking to be in a relationship. Again, and I don't even know how to put myself out there. I mean, I meet women from all walks of life, and different cultures, and different, tall, short, medium, and I get along with all of them, but I just don't know if there's ever been a connection. So I've just left it up to fate, and but I'm living my life golden. I'm living my life like it's golden, and
Good.
I'm enjoying the female friends that I have, and so I just left it up to that. Maybe one day something will happen. If not, then I've already reserved myself to be happy with who I am. So, yeah.
That's the key. That is actually the key. And that's what Elaine was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I loved everything that she said. From the male's perspective is different than what female's perspective is, and from her perspective of working on herself and her spiritual life, and she still has ton of friends and all the people that love her that she's surrounded. And a lot of times, yeah, she's lonely. She's doesn't have anyone to go out with, but she's okay to take herself out.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that, you know. And I've done it in past, and you get to really spend that moment trying to get to know yourself, and
Yeah.
then you have the right person come into your life. That's the addition on top of the great life that you already achieved.
Right.
So with that, what would be the top 3 qualities that you're looking for in a partner?
Well, independence is definitely the key. You know, a woman that's independent, that, you know, can do with or without me. I mean, you know, a lot of times guys want women that are needy, and they want women that always depend on them. And that's where
Right.
big downfall for anybody, to want people to continue to get somebody that's all they got to do is depend on you. You know, if I was in a relationship and you know, I built an empire, or I built a foundation with someone, and, you know, God forbid, and it was time for me to go on and take my wings. You know, I want somebody to be able to stay back and be able to take care of the business at hand, you know, and be independent. So I guess look for independence, you know. And you hear a lot of women say, "Hey, I'm independent lady, I'm independent woman, I'm do this." But, you know, sometimes I've met women that say that, and then all of a sudden there's no independence there. Oh, okay. I mean, just be upfront with me. And then the second thing is honesty. You know, just be honest with me, you know, what it is that you want, what it is that you have need of, what it is that we can do together, or why are you interested in me? Just be honest, let me know, you know. The third thing is just to build a foundation of truth, you know. So independence, honesty, and truth. But I'm gonna throw in that truth part, I'm gonna throw in there communication. That's important.
Yes.
Communicate all the time, you know. I'm not a person that needs you to call me every day, or that needs to text 24 hours a day, but show some initiative in communicating back to me if I communicate to you. So, you know, I would say those are my top 4 things, you know.
Okay, great. I mean, it's funny because I actually, before the podcast, did some research, and they are finding that a lot of females, when they ask females what are the top 3 qualities, humor is one of them. A lot of girls say, I want to be with the guy that make me laugh.
Okay.
So, and it's interesting that when, as a male perspective, when you say communication, a lot of females say they want a guy with communication that has good communication skills. So this is good to know from your perspective as a male. So thank you for sharing that. So with the top 3 qualities, or the 4 that you mentioned, if you have to think about some of the dating that you had, good experiences and the bad ones, you can choose if you want to talk about the good ones first.
Well,
What are the good ones?
wow, they've been so far and in between. What can I say? Wow. Maybe
Recent one.
maybe I had one 20 something years ago. We collected. We met in church. I was a musician and she sang in the choir. And I walked in rehearsal one night, and there she was sitting in the choir stand, and, you know, there was a connection, and it was, you know, it was a good 10 plus years, you know, relationship. You know? But
Very good.
it came off the heels of a relationship that was bad, that was really bad, you know, where, you know, we had got an engagement ring, and then all of a sudden, uh, getting married was not on her top priority anymore. After, you know, it was sort of her telling me that's what she wanted to do and stuff, and I got all sized up. You know, I got a nice, expensive engagement ring, and then things started falling off. And you know, I was okay. This is not going to work. Um, every time I got around her, I got sick. I mean, it's just like spirit was terrible, and it would nauseate me, you know. But I dealt with that, and then I finally, you know, we just had to kind of, you know, part ways. So it was very toxic, you know. For coming to me. The toxicity was from her, and
Okay.
but I gave her everything she wanted. I was there hand and foot. Doing what she needed, what she wanted. Hey, I was even washing her clothes.
Wow.
Yeah, you drop her clothes off to my house,
Think
wash her
girls
clothes.
gonna be hitting you up now.
I'm washing her dirty clothes. you know, but it became a toxic relationship, and I had to get out of it. And luckily we was able to get out of it. Amicably. Where there was no bad feelings. Well, there was
Right.
bad feelings, but later on in life, she went back and tried to get back to me and stuff. I was like, nah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to catch those things, and you probably find yourself that, thank God, I was
Yeah,
able to see red flags and move away because I know it's not healthy.
yeah.
Uh, so, I mean, if you had to think about some of the challenges during the dating, what would be something that you want to encourage the audience? Like, what are the things that they should be watching out for when they are dating? So when they do see someone that's really a nice looking person, but deep down inside, they're really not giving that chance of getting to know someone where they become best friends. I don't think people give each other the chance.
Well, there was a time where, the first impression to me was the key thing. It was all the physical, what the physical looked like. So I want
Right.
a woman in my arms and stuff. But I had to also learn that it's if it's gonna be the physical, it's got to be both inside and the outside. So you got to the outside has to match what the inside is about. So,
Absolutely.
and that would always be that's my main thing. The outside is important to me, but the inside is just as important. It's 100% each way. You got to have a great personality if you're going to be, a woman that appeals me, physically. So
Yes.
I've dated
Okay.
some great women that were physically appealing to me, but their personalities were terrible. Their
Yeah.
insides were core, rotten to the core. So I've had to
Yeah.
learn. I've had to learn that. I have had to learn to not get caught up. And it's interesting. I was talking to a buddy of mine today, and we were
Oh,
he's a single friend of mine, and we were talking about relationships and women, and who if we were hanging out, what would be the first thing that he would look at trying to talk to someone. um so the second thing I would say to me is patience.
mhm.
Patience. And I told him, I said, you have to create patience, because you right now you're rushing into everything. If somebody is physically attracted to you, physically attracted to him, you want to rush into something. You want to rush into something that same day. I said, you gotta have patience. You gotta have patience with the good looking ones and the ones that are not so good looking that you like.
Sure. Sure.
So you gotta have patience. Patience meaning that you don't want to seem like you're pressed, to be in a relationship, but at the same time, you want to give you want to make sure the other person's not pressed as well. I think sometimes what scares women from guys is that some guys they see, oh wow, wow, ooh, she gave me the wink of the eye, she did this and then they get impatient and they want to go grab and they want to go
Yeah.
touch you, be all feely and hugging and all that stuff. And you just have to have patience, because because that person may not be for you, and if and the only way to know that person is for you is to have patience. And that's one of my key things as I look, personality, outer appearance, yes, but patience. Personality and patience stand above the outer appearance. You know.
Sure. And also, like, looks fades
It
after,
does. It does.
and what is it going to be left? Is there someone that's going to be by your side to grow
Exactly.
old?
Exactly.
So when I look at even my parents, I know my dad passed away, but when I look at my mom, she has so much to say about my dad. And, just because she gained weight after having kids, my
Right.
dad didn't look for someone else that was skinnier. And so I think those are some of the challenges, whether men or women face, that, oh, the moment something happens with my appearance,
Yeah.
they're going to find someone younger, better. And so it does need to be taking the moment to get to know someone. I'm a big believer that relationships are not a matter of a week or 2 weeks. if there are things in common, if you do have your list, pro and cons, see what it is about the person, that what it is they bring to the table. And it's important you take notes. And then the people that are not meant for us to be partners, they can be some of our best friends, good friends.
That's true.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think instead of getting bitter and mad that the relationship doesn't work out, we can communicate like what you said.
Exactly. There's got to be some foundation there, and that foundation is like when you build a building. You know, there's some foundation. You know, there's there's the footers, then there's the concrete, then there's the wire, then there's another set of footers, and there's another wire and concrete. So it's like building a lasagna. You know. You know, and I don't know how to cook lasagna, but one day I'm gonna have to learn because that's a foundational thing you build, and you have to have that in a relationship. You know, this because again, like you mentioned earlier, you know, looks fade, and it doesn't take long for a look to fade. I mean, a woman that has on a lot of makeup, you know,
yeah,
can you appreciate her when she takes the makeup off?
yes,
She's not gonna. You don't expect her to get up every morning and have on makeup. The kings and queens don't do that every morning. They have to still take it off at night, you know, but they still stick with each other, you know. And it's got to also be about, you know, if you're going to be with me while I'm spending money or you're going to be with me when the money runs out, you know.
Exactly. Oh, bingo on that. And I think coming from like, you know, I have 4 brothers and my dad, and, you know, I was raised in a household full of boys, and most of my friends were boys, and I got along more with boys. But at the same time, I just remember that we have to remember as females, a lot of times I wear, you know, shorts. Sometimes I wear dresses. I go hiking. I I could do all the roles, and I can get dressed up with makeup on and get out there. But at the time, I allow my husband, before he became my husband, to see all of Fana's. You know, when I had makeup, I didn't have makeup on, because at the end, like in the old days, I don't even remember what movie I was watching, but there was something in the old days that they were teaching women to even have to get up before the husband gets up and put your makeup and just be ready so he doesn't see what you actually look like. This is one of the older movies that was on TV. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's such a wrong teaching to females. Like, you be fake. No.
Yeah, I disagree with that, because that's not fair to a woman to have to get up extra early just to put on a face for. Exactly. What about when he wakes up? You know, he might have drool all over his mouth from last sleeping, and, you know, had on his face, you know, sleep in his eyes. I mean, it's supposed to be an equal thing, you know. No, I want to look like, you know, without the makeup. I want to make sure that, you know, that we're, you know, because you got to see me when I don't shave. You know,
exactly.
I shave every day, twice a day sometimes. You know, I do the skincare thing myself. You know, but you know, I want somebody to be able to appreciate it when it's there and when it's not there. What if I was stuck in the house, and I was during COVID? There were times that I get on conference calls and I didn't let nobody see me because the beard was growing in and stuff here, and the hair was growing in, and I just hadn't shaved, and you know.
Exactly.
You know, so you know, I want.
I mean, those are such great things to talk about, and I think a lot of times you don't hear why I wanted to do this podcast, because you don't hear this type of conversations.
No.
And I think we don't speak enough about it's okay how you look. You really just don't need to filter every picture. You don't need to be filtering, like, you know, just be okay with who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if someone doesn't want to be with you, because then you're gonna have something happening to you. You gain a little weight. They weren't meant for you to begin with.
Absolutely.
So be happy who you are. Be authentic in yourself. Be just how God made us. I think why it's important for me, for my spirit, my spiritual being, and who I want to surround myself.
Yeah.
It's not about the status, but it's really helping each other out in our communities and have conversations that are difficult to help each other out. And so before we close, Richard, thank you so much. Before we close, is there any encouragement that you can give our audience that are single and they may experience some loneliness? You know those days, I've been there.
Yeah.
So what do you do when you feel discouraged?
Well, I think I mentioned to you earlier, I got that one phone call all day long. Not what my phone has not rang all day long. And I know I was out with a lot of people over the course of 2 days, Friday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And
Right.
nobody called. But that's okay because there are times, of course, when I feel like I'm lonely, but I find things to do here in my home. I pay the bills. I read a paper, I read a book. I watch the news, or I watch a movie, or I listen to music and dance in the house. Find my favorite songs and dance to it. I got music all over my house playing loud, and also I know how to go out by myself and enjoy myself.
Sure.
And it's interesting, every time I go out by myself, I'm going to always run into somebody,
Mm-hmm.
that knows me or recognizes me. And so what I say to people who sometimes feel lonely, find things to do with yourself. Find things that make you happy. Go hiking, go bike riding by yourself. And I, it's interesting. And I want to share this to a lot of guys, because women are doing this a lot. They're empowering themselves. I see
Yeah.
on social media, and they say, hey, I'm doing this. I can do this. I do this by myself. I'm a strong woman. I'm Superwoman. I'm Wonder Woman. Well, some guys, they need to do the same thing. Empower yourself. Love
Yes.
you first. Put yourself first. Love you without being conceited, and do the things that make you happy. Because once you're happy, then your aura and will exude out of your skin, and it will exude out of your being to other people. And happiness in yourself is what attract happiness from other people. And I've had
Yeah.
people say that. They say, Rich, you just seen how he's like, either you just walk in the room and you have this confidence about yourself. And I said, well, because I like myself. I
Exactly.
look like when I walk in the room. I know when I
Yeah.
walk in the room, I'm a hit. And it's not being conceited. It's just that I feel comfortable myself. Now, I may not meet nobody in that room, but I know when I walk out of there, nobody didn't say anything bad about me. All they could say was good vibes. And so you got to have good vibes on yourself. So for people who are single, nothing wrong with being single. And from a biblical perspective, there's a lot of things you can do as a single person. You don't always have
Yeah.
to mate, but you got to find out what that purpose is in your life and stuff. And but yeah, just be confident in yourself. When times you feel lonely, find things that make you happy. Another person, yes, can help make you happy, but that person can't be the control of your happiness. You have to be in control of your own happiness and your own the way you feel. So be happy, have good vibes about yourself. When you feel lonely, feel happy, make yourself happy, make a great day out of a day that may be raining. Make a great day out of it. But communicate how you feel to yourself first, then you can talk to other folks about how you feel. And have confidence. Have confidence in who you are. Be proud of yourself. I had an uncle, bless his heart, he's deceased now. But he used to say to me, because when he would see me drive, I started driving when I was 15 and a half. And he would see me drive, and I don't know what made me do, but I would drive with one hand on the steering wheel and lean. And I didn't know I was leaning. He said, stop leaning, impress yourself. Don't impress others. Okay. And I learned,
Oh,
I kept hearing him say, stop impressing others, impress yourself. Once you can impress yourself, then you impress others. And that's just those things that I strongly, keep in my life. I read positive books. I read positive quotes from other people. When I see people make quotes from women and from guys, that put out positive motivational. I read those things and I embed them in my heart, because those are the things that make me happy. So at the end of the day, do things that make you happy.
absolutely. No, I agree. It's I think we encourage ourselves first, like you said, love yourself first.
Yeah.
I think gratitude, even though you may feel that there's not enough given to us,
Mm-hmm.
I think we sometimes need to forget about our entitlement, about that we have to have everything. No, nobody has everything.
Absolutely.
Gratitude all the time, reach out to the people. I think positive energy brings positive.
Yes.
Once you're positive, you attract those type of people in your life.
Mhm.
People want to be around you. But I think, yeah, what you said, everything you said, I agree 100%. Again, thank you so much. I don't want to hold up a lot of your time. Sorry for the mess up a little bit earlier. I wanted to get you and Elaine in the same room.
Wait. Trying to do it again another time, but I did catch a little bit of what you said to Elaine, and I know Elaine from our prayer calls and stuff. So, but no, it's never about. I'm always excited to talk to you, Farnaz. It's always great. From the time we met, nothing but positiveness. So, anytime you need me, I'm always here.
Oh, same here all the time. God is good.
Yes.
I want nothing but really the best for everyone that's on my Facebook that's following. If you have any questions, follow us. Everything is on YouTube. Stories by You is on YouTube. I started my own channel. There's so many other podcasts there. So please just join us if you guys have anything that you want to ask Richard. He's on Facebook, Richard Glover. Thank you so much. He does so many other great things. So please follow him. Thank you and all the blessings to you, and you all enjoy your evening. Thank you for joining.